Good morning, everybody. We're back again. Another exciting show. We're going to try to help you folks out there that are listening and watching, streaming, how you can buy a car safely. Buy a car, lease a car, maintain or repair your car in this crazy world we live in. It's, and I mean that literally. I mean, I've never seen anything like the past. It's what 3 years, 4 years. It's a nutty world, and we focus on cars. So we could talk about a lot of crazy stuff that's going on, but we're going to focus on cars. Try to make it as simple as we can. Buying a car, leasing a car, has always been a challenge. It's one of the few retail products, the automobile, that is stuck in time 100 years ago. Cars are bought and sold, leased today just like they were 100 years ago. I mean, tell me a product. Most products we have weren't around 100 years ago. So it just, how did that happen? Well, they got locked in by the car dealers who organized. There's thousands of them out there, and they make good money, so they're well financed. And they organized, and they lobbied state legislatures, all 50 states. And car dealers are entrenched, about as entrenched as you can get. I mean, there's nothing that can't be unentrenched. Is that a word? Disentrenched? I'm not sure. But they're in there pretty firmly right now. And so they do things the way they want to. If they violate a rule, a law, ethics, morals, whatever they violate, they're protected. The legislators are in their pockets. The legislators are elected based on the support of the National Automobile Dealers Association. We're in Florida, so I'll say the Florida Automobile Dealers Association. And there's other associations. There's a Tampa, again, Florida, there's a Tampa, Orlando, a Jacksonville, a Miami. And all these organizations are in business for one reason, to raise funds to send to the state legislatures to be sure that they know that the dealers are to be untouched, the dealers are protected. And that means that if you're a manufacturer, you're not allowed to sell a car. You, individually, you can only sell one car. I think they allow you one car, but you can't sell more than one car. Dealers are protected. They do it any way they want to. So that's the mess that we address in this show. Earl Stewart on cars. And we're in the studio right now in North Palm Beach, Florida. That's South Florida. I fondly refer to as the Sodom and Gomorrah of car dealerships. We are about the toughest place to buy a car. It's really the Wild Wild West. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach County, Broward County, Dade County. It's really tough down here. Every manufacturers of dealers are represented. I can't think of any vehicle that isn't represented in South Florida. And the competition is fierce. And the fiercer the competition, the more unethical and rough it gets. And rough mainly on you, the consumer. So we're going to help you. We love to hear from you. There's so much news. We could do the whole show just on the new stuff going on with cars. I mean, electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles. There's just the oversupply of, or I should say the undersupply of cars, and the oversupply, if that's a way to put it, of demand. People are buying cars like they never bought cars before. There's fewer cars, the prices are sky high. We'd like to hear from you, though, and if you will call us at 877-960-9960, hopefully, if we do our job, we'll give that number out again and again, because we're on the air from 2 hours. I mean, we're 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 2 hours. It sounds like a long time, but it just flies by. And if you'd like to call us, we'd love to hear from you. We prioritize the phone call. 877-960-9960. Nancy Stewart was mentioned in the recorded introduction. She's my wife. She's my co-host. She's the co-founder of the show. And she is a female advocate. And she has brought the we have parity between women and men in the show. We have almost as many women as men that call the show. And we didn't used to have that. We've been doing this for 20 years. So Nancy will tap me on the shoulder. She has a laptop. You call 877-960-9960, and she'll stop Rick or stop Stu, stop me, stop herself, because we want to hear from you. We've only had 5 phone lines, so we don't want you to have to hold too long. To be honest with you, you might have to hold longer than you'd like, because we get people on the call, it's the current caller, and maybe they have something really interesting. So we do talk for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes sometimes, but we'll do our best. 877-960-9960. Now, other ways, if you don't want to call directly and be on the air live, your voice on the radio, then you can text us. And Stu Stewart, sitting across from me now, he monitors our text at 772-497-6530, 772-497-6530. If you can write these numbers down, you might not have anything you want to text about now, but you will later. And we're going to give it out again because people listen for maybe 15 minutes. Then they, we get where they're going. They're listening to the radio in the car or whatever's going on. And we're on for 2 hours, like I say. So you'll hear this number again and again, 877-960-9960 for callers. And we prioritize those calls. And for texters, that's 772-497-6530. We might not get to you right away on the text, but we will probably before the end of the show. Now, I left our big gun for last. The big gun is our YouTube channel, and we have YouTube, youtube.com/Earl on Cars.
2 channels.
2 channels. We have 2 channels?
We have Earl on Cars and the Earl Stewart Toyota channel, and folks seem to find their way onto each of them.
And they both go to YouTube.
Mm-hmm. They both are on YouTube running simultaneously.
Oh, I'll be darned. So that's maybe why we get so many. And Rick, the voice you just heard there, our certified master diagnostic technician, he monitors the YouTube channel. And some of our, I don't want to offend any of our other callers or texters, but the YouTube guys are really sharp. I learn more from the YouTube callers than about anybody else. They really do their research, and they come up with some really good stuff. So youtube.com/Earl on Cars, or what was the other one?
Earl Stewart Toyota. YouTube, Earl Stewart Toyota on YouTube.
Okay, that's why we don't use that, because we are a Toyota dealership, and we don't like to talk about it. But it's important that you know, from transparency, that we're in the business. We're retail car dealers, and we're attacking retail car dealers a lot because of the way they do business. So we're one of them, and I want you to know that, hey, I got to admit it, I'm a car dealer. And when I go to a party or a social event, I usually don't tell anybody I'm a car dealer because it creates sometimes some animosity. Gallup annual poll on honesty and ethics in professions. You want some data to back up that last statement. The Gallup annual poll on honesty and ethics in profession ranks car dealers either last, next to last, and a really good year. This has been going on for 50 years. In a really good year, they're third from last. Sometimes we get beat out by congressmen, lobbyists, politicians, something like that. So here we are. I mentioned Rick Kearney, certified diagnostic master technician. If you have, I'm talking about buying cars now, but if you want to fix your car, if you want to maintain your car without being taken advantage of, call Rick. He'll give you a diagnostic right on the phone. You can describe the noise, the odor, the rattle, the squeak, whatever the car's doing that makes you nervous. And for the safety item, you should be nervous. If it's making you nervous, and you're also nervous about taking it to a car dealer because he's going to rip you off and fix something that doesn't need fixing, or not fix it right, or charge you too much, if all that worries you, call Rick. Get a free diagnosis right here on the air. And you can call at 877-960-9960, and we'll put you right through to Rick, or you can go to YouTube, and he's watching that right now, youtube.com/Earl on Cars. I'm going to turn the mic over to Nancy Stewart because she has a special message, very important message for you ladies out there that may be listening.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Happy 4th of July weekend. We're happy to be with you. As I say every Saturday, we enjoy your company. Just to get things stirred up a little bit, let me throw a question out there to the listeners, the viewers. As the rates soar for auto insurance, how has it affected you? Give us a call, toll free, at 877-960-9960. And you can also text us at 772-497-6530. And don't forget your anonymous feedback. You can always get in touch with us through there and remain anonymous. YourAnonymousFeedback.com. Also in the news, this is an interesting story that appeared in the USA Today, and what it says is gas super users urged to step on the brakes. Guzzlers can get incentives to make the leap to electric. And it goes on to say that the government on both coasts of the U.S. want to persuade a small percentage of drivers who use most gas to switch to electric. And some leaders are taking the first steps towards incentives to make it happen. Research shows 10% of drivers in the United States use almost 1/3 of the nation's gas, and of course they're worried about a lot of carbon dioxide too. So that's just to give you a little snippet of what's going on in the news and how we're directing our purchases towards electric. Some of us are. Also this morning, Lulu will be in. Lulu's coming in from Big Dog Ranch. Bernadette's bringing her in, and she is here from Georgia.
This isn't Little Lulu, by the way.
Yeah.
Not Little Lulu.
Little Lulu. It's not Little Lulu.
I think Dad's
You
reaching back
remember
in
the
time.
comic strip Little Lulu?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that was a joke because Lulu is a German Shepherd and Little Lulu is quite large.
Well, little Lulu, come on. She's just a little girl. She's only 3 years old. 3 years and 3 weeks. So everyone ladies want to refer to as a little something or another. Anyway, Lulu will be here, and her owners had to give her up because they had some health issues, and she's at Big Dog Ranch now, and she's very friendly, and you're really going to enjoy her company. Also for the ladies, don't forget $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. Yes, $50 for the first 2 new lady callers, and there's plenty to talk about. Or if you just want to call and say hello, perfect. Our number, 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. Remember, Earl's book, The Recovering Car Dealer, Confessions of a Recovering Car Dealer. All proceeds go to the Big Dog Ranch when you purchase that book.
It's a double bark.
That was a big one for Big Lulu. Okay, Earl, back to
How
you.
about we got any texts coming in?
Oh, yeah. I'll kick it off with Anne Marie's text as
Oh,
usual.
excuse me. We have a
The
phone call.
phones are starting to light up.
We are going to go to Doug, who's been holding in Boca. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. I just want to say I appreciate both of you. You're really amazing to the whole community. And I still haven't had my coffee this morning. God bless you.
That's Rick.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Thanks, Doug. That was really sweet. But what about the rest of us? There's not just 2 people in the studio.
No, I know all of you. Ella and Sim say hello to and
No
meow.
excuses.
Oh, hi, Ella.
Thank you, Doug.
I just had 2 quick things. I've been trying to pursue to get a Corolla GR, and
Oh, boy.
some of the dealerships are getting them in very slowly, and then they mark them up anywhere from 10,000 to like 18,000.
Yeah.
Which is just, it doesn't make any sense to me. But
Well,
I know you guys don't do that, but it's very
yeah,
weird.
we don't do that. The GR is one of those cars they're going to produce 4 of. I mean, there's hardly any of them out there, and that's done purposely. So, and then when the dealers get an opportunity like that, it's hard to resist. I like to say buy one from us, but it would probably take you 5 years to get it from us. So
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I spoke to one sales guy. He said about a year.
yeah, I was exaggerating, but it's going to take. It would probably at least a year on that one.
Okay, so then I'm going to tell you a really quick story. So, a friend of mine knows the owner, son of a dealership in Hollywood, and
Oh boy.
Is it a Toyota dealership?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
so we know him too.
So I have an opportunity to get one at sticker price. And the thing
really?
is, yeah.
Oh good.
So
In that
But I
case,
don't-
it's a good story, and I would say, well, then Craig Zinn is a nice guy for helping you guys out like that.
Yeah, it really is.
well, it's only because of one of my best friends who knows.
Yeah, it's Hollywood
Yeah.
Toyota is one of the largest Toyota dealerships in the country. They rank in the top 3 typically, or 4 maybe, and so he would have a lot more vehicles. So it's I'm glad if you know him personally and he's able to get you that very, very rare car.
I'm pretty sure it's a one per dealer thing, so it's a
Yeah.
very, very special thing he did for you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let us know how you like it.
Yeah, I will. It's supposed to come in like 2 weeks, and I will make a decision whether to do it or not.
Yeah, Toyota's is, as you know, is hurting because they don't have electric vehicles. Is most of the other manufacturers, they got off to a late start, and I was really shocked to see that Toyota's loyalty rating dropped precipitously in the past few months, and this is an automotive news story that I would have never thought this would happen, but Toyota buyers who are loyal to and buy, one Toyota after another, are now switching to Tesla. So Tesla has hurt the Toyota loyalty. And
Wow.
Yeah, it's this electric vehicle thing is a real thing. Another interesting bit of news that you'd be interested in, Doug, is that the car dealers are still in denial. 2/3 of the car dealers think this electric vehicle thing isn't going to happen anytime soon. I mean, it's just going to maybe go away. I guess that's wishful thinking. The problem is 2/3 of the car buyers think it will not go away and they want to buy it. So it's really interesting that car dealers are totally out of sync with what they think is going to happen versus the consumer, what they think is going to happen. And guess who's going to win that argument?
Oh, one more quick thing. The Sims' car got in a little bit of a accident, but she's fine. And while we're getting the car fixed, we went to a rental place. Won't mention them, and we got a Subaru Legacy, which to me is the weirdest car that I've ever driven in my
Weird.
entire life.
Huh.
I mean, it actually keeps beeping at me when it thinks that I'm not looking. Yeah, it keeps doing
Oh,
it
boy.
constantly. And then the other worst.
Was that Sim or Ella?
Then when you come to a stop, okay, the car shuts off briefly and then restarts. And then if you're not careful and you press the gas, it'll lurch forward. And this car is a nightmare.
Unbelievable.
Hey, Doug, we got 4 callers on the line
Yeah.
now. We don't want to lose any, so
Oh.
thanks again for your comments. And I really would like to see that car when you buy it. As I say, I haven't driven one, so if you buy it, maybe come up here and take me for a ride.
Of
He'll
course
race
I
you in the
will.
Tesla.
Thanks so much, Doug. We enjoy your company, you and your wife. 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. And don't forget, youranonymousfeedback.com. We are going to stay on the phones. We've got Dick calling from Boca. Good morning, Dick.
Good morning. What a wonderful, wonderful show.
Thank you.
To Mr. and Mrs. Stewart and all your
Thank you.
great helpers. And happy 4th of July. I have a fast question related to cars, but not related to cars. I listen to you every week, and I'm fascinated by it. However, I was looking at that stock AutoNation last week, and it's making a new high. Now, they're not into electric vehicles, whatever. I don't understand why a stock would be making a new high that's connected with the regular automobiles when the electric cars are coming in so strong. I'm just wondering, does Earl have an opinion on that?
I think that a simple answer is that AutoNation is probably the best run public auto company. They used to be the largest. I think Lithia eked them out for first place. They probably got over 200 car dealerships, and they're just it's like anything else. They have a good mix of good brands. They got Toyota, Lexus, Honda. They really have some, and they're getting into the electric vehicle business indirectly. I mean, they have to wait till the manufacturers make the change. And one of their problems is that they can't get a Tesla franchise because Tesla sells directly. So if the only thing that's going to hurt AutoNation, I think they're superior in competition and profit to almost all car dealers and almost all other the public held companies. The only person that are not superior to is Tesla, and that's because they can't compete with Tesla. Tesla sells directly. So AutoNation is a really good stock buy, in my opinion, and they have been for quite a while.
Okay, that's right to the point. The only thing is I'm talking about just going into the future, but
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the market's all about the future. But
Exactly. Well, thanks very much for the call.
appreciate your terrific answer, and thank you.
You're welcome, Dick. It was great hearing from you. Happy 4th of July to you. We are going to go to John, who's giving us a call from Stewart. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Happy 4th of July, soon to be.
Happy 4th of July.
Yeah, I have a question for, I think it would be Rick, because I heard him talk about this a week or two ago. In 2009, we lived in Georgia, and I was going to buy a Prius. And my wife threw a big fit because she didn't like it. It was ugly, and I thought it was ugly too. But I was driving yesterday down the road, and I saw a brand new one, and it was a white one with the black trim and stuff like that. And it was beautiful. And then I heard Rick say something about like one of the best cars ever made. Is that true about the new ones, does he think? Or because she wants me to get a Highlander, but we're getting older, and I don't want to get a big vehicle then. I'd rather get something that has some good gas mileage and stuff. And they said it got like 30-some miles to the gallon or something like that on the electric. And since most of my trips are just in Stewart, I probably wouldn't have to buy much gas at all.
If you learn to drive a Prius properly, you will get anywhere from 45 to 55 miles per gallon all day long. Those cars are phenomenal. And even there are people out there that created a term called hypermiling. Mostly Prius owners when they first really got popular. And these guys literally wrote their own book on how to maximize the fuel economy while driving hybrids. And I mean,
Yes,
some of these folks out there are getting 70 miles a gallon reliably out of Priuses. And the new ones, the new Priuses, are just as good as the old ones. Toyota really has actually kept it good on the Prius. They have not downgraded them. They've not lost any of the quality by thinking, okay, now we can sit back and relax and maybe cut some corners. No, they've kept the Prius up really, really well.
And it was a beautiful car. I liked the new styling because the others were, they were really ugly. I mean, they really were. I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This one just,
I agree.
the 2004 to 2009 was such a shock of a body style then, and
yeah.
the 2010 changeover, they didn't really change it a whole lot, so it still was kind of like this just odd looking car, and it was one of those that you either love it or you hate it.
John, Rick really knows what he's talking about with Prius. I don't know how many years ago was it, Rick? Rick drove a Prius from North Palm Beach, Florida, to Washington D.C. on one tank of gas.
Yep.
What year Prius was that?
That was a second generation. I believe it was an '07 or an '08.
Yeah.
And basically it was 1,100 miles on one tank of fuel. Now that was a modified Prius. We had a lithium battery installed as well, to where it was a plug-in version, and that was back in the days when, because the government had not caught up with things, they forced the engine to run the moment you start the car up to heat up all the catalytic converter and the emission systems. But now they realize, hey, on these hybrids, they don't have to start the engine at certain times, and they've relaxed some of those regulations, changed them around to fit the car better, and the fuel economy has just increased. And if you're anyone that likes the environment, they're so much better for the environment too, because of the emissions so low.
Absolutely. And John, the new Prius it has a lot of sparkle compared to the one you were talking about. We have some calls backed up, so.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Pardon me?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, no, that's good. I just wanted to ask you that question. So you guys have a nice 4th of July, and it's a pleasure talking to you.
It was
Thank
a
you, John.
pleasure. Thank you. Happy 4th of July. We are going to go to Josh, who's calling us from New Jersey. Good morning, Josh.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Great. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. I've been following you guys for several years. I've actually gone through 4 different vehicles now following you, so it's been extremely helpful. So I'm grateful to you guys all.
That's great.
So I'm looking now. I'm getting ready to get another one. I'm self-employed, so I need some tax write-offs. So I go out and lease a new vehicle, and I need a tax write-off according to my CPA. And so I've been shopping around, and the Infiniti Q50 I've been a big fan of with the all-wheel drive and whatnot. And oddly enough, when I shopped the Camry, the lease quote was about the same. And I was kind of scratching my head. I'm like, why is it $35,000 car, the same monthly payment as a $62,000 car for a lease? And so I'm trying to get some understanding as to what's going on. And it looks like these dealers are now starting to get more and more stock in. I don't know if you guys are seeing a shift in the market where
A little
more vehicles are now starting to be in stock.
A little bit. Actually, the change that we're anticipating, at least for Toyota dealers, is in the second half of the year, starting now, where we're going to expect to see some increased production and delivery of vehicles to dealers. Now, on the leasing thing, I can tell you that Toyota used to be heavy in the leasing, particularly down here in the Southeast. And they're going head-to-head with Honda, which had these very competitive lease programs. Since the pandemic, or since the inventory situation, they've dropped all their support for lease programs. Everybody's buying their lease cars. They did those programs because they wanted the cars to come back in. It was all part of a big cycle of buying and selling cars. But anyway, so there's no incentives on the lease programs. So they use the standard industry residuals and rates that are comparable to the higher interest rates we have now. I'm wondering maybe possibly Infiniti is trying to lease those, and so they might have a special lease incentivized program for the Infiniti.
Oh, that
Yes.
makes sense.
Yeah, because in the past with Toyota, if you just took the industry residuals and the normal rates, it wouldn't be anything special. Toyota basically would come in and say, well, the ALG guide, which is the industry, says the residual on this Camry is going to be 50%. And then Toyota Financial Services or Southeast Toyota Finance comes in and says it's going to be 65%. And that causes the payment to drop a lot, and it's great for the customers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That makes
Infinity's
sense.
probably doing something like that.
They put a little incentive into it, not a ton.
Yeah.
Because I shopped Infinity back in 2018, and they had huge incentives.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's starting to kind of creep up because they keep emailing me, and they're like, hey, our prices dropped. We got another incentive. So it looks like they're starting to,
Yeah.
because these same cars that I shopped 6 months ago are still on the lot.
Yeah. The inventory levels, like we're anticipating having a slightly higher supply at the end of the year on the lot, so we'll have some buildup of inventory. Most Toyota dealerships, other manufacturers are already there, and they have GM dealers. They have full lots in some cases, so everybody's going to fall in between those extremes.
You might
Would you
also
recommend waiting for the end of the year?
Yeah, John.
For Toyota, there's going to be a lot more to choose from. We're not like doubling inventories, but we're going from like a 3-day supply to a 9-day supply.
Yeah, things are getting a little better, Josh, and the incentives are getting better also, and there are more of them. Josh, we have some calls backed up, so we are
I
going to
appreciate
have
all of your help.
Yes,
Thanks, Josh.
I'm glad we could help.
Thank you.
Have a great day. 877-960-9960 is the number where you can reach us, and you can also text us at 772-497-6530. We're going to go to John in Fort Lauderdale. Good morning, John.
Well, good morning to you both, and happy 4th of July. And this is not only a call, a regular call, but this is from an old friend who used to broadcast out of that very studio many years ago. This is Jammin' John Summers, the oldie show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jammin' John. We listen
how
to
are
you
ya?
all the time. It's great to hear from
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you guys, too. You're always two of my favorite people at that station. I'm glad to hear that you're still on the air, and now that you have a repeater signal down here in Broward, I can listen to you.
Oh,
All right.
fantastic.
All right. So I actually have a question for you, and I have been a Lexus driver, my goodness, for at least 35, 40 years. I've owned about 15 of them, never bought a used one, always bought a new one. And like Toyota, the sister company or the parent company, they're pretty much bulletproof. I drove each one of them. I drove 363,000 miles, and without changing tires or oil, it didn't cost me a cent. I'm wondering, and this is going to be the first I'm actually selling my current RX 350, which I think is one of the great SUVs. It's built on a Camry platform, Toyota Camry platform, so you can get a smooth, silky ride instead of a truck-like ride. I'm selling mine now. I could put a for sale sign. My goodness, my phones blew up within 5 minutes. So obviously the used car market is still hot. But what my question is, I went to look at a new one, a new 2020, I guess it's a 24 now, RX 350, and they changed them. They took one of the best-selling SUVs and made it, instead of that silky smooth 3.5-liter V6 engine, they put a four-cylinder, what they call a turbo. I don't consider it a turbo. And I test drove it, and I said, why did they do this, and why did they make it a couple inches narrower? Do you have any take on that?
Fuel efficiency.
Yeah. The number one factor
It's
is
not really getting. The difference is about a mile or two a gallon.
It all
But
goes into the equation.
yeah, even a little bit on each car increase in fuel efficiency adds up over the stack of cars
For the whole fleet.
over the whole fleet of them. And with the government constantly telling the manufacturers, you've got to get your
Look at-
fuel efficiency higher and get your emissions lower, and so it becomes all a numbers game. And then you've got engineers that they got to have their say in it too, so they just keep coming up with these new engine ideas.
And
Yep,
I
yep,
think the
I
CAFE had to be
understand that
50
part.
miles per gallon, right?
But
The fleets. Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility that they're trying to take an RX buyer and step him up to the big SUV, which used to be a V8 and now is a V6?
Potentially.
Okay. I just found that the car, which had just gobs of power and, like I say, silky smooth on the highway, now has that four-cylinder, annoying engine sound that will just drive you nuts on a long trip. And I took the present one that I had. I took it on a 6,000-mile road trip last year. And the car is so darn comfortable. I drove 9 hours a day and went out and played 18 holes of golf. I mean, it was incredible. It's just like they took one of the best-selling things and I don't want to say shot themselves in the foot, but we'll see how sales are. And you guys being Toyota specialists, pretty much they're interchangeable parts. And I wonder if you had a take on that.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a car guy.
Well,
I
they're
don't
gonna-
know if you remember.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I'm a car guy. I own about 20 classic cars from the 1950s and 60s.
Yeah. You're going to probably
And
have
two
to
Lexuses.
stick to the classic cars because, I mean, basically these smaller engines are just, you're not going to see many of these smaller engines. They're all shifting to electric
I get it.
and hybrids. So, as a matter of fact,
Sure.
the Toyotas doing that was probably something they didn't even want to do. I mean, they'd probably like to keep big, roomy cars, but
Yeah.
the fleets, the CAFE standards in 2025 is going to be 54 miles per gallon. That means
I get it.
yeah, so they got
So,
average. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The hybrid idea to me works a whole lot better than the electric idea right now, because when we were on this road trip last summer, I kind of put into my phone wherever I could get a signal up on the Canadian, Vermont-Canadian border. And, of course, I plugged in, I said, to try and find the nearest charging station of any type was 250 miles away. And so it's great if you have an all-electric car in a metro area where
Don't
there's
take your
tons
car.
of
Don't
charging
take your EV
stations.
there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You can't take it on a long trip.
Yeah, that's in
So
process.
I'm not
though,
quite ready for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was
But,
a big bill passed for something like 150,000 charging stations across the country. So it's coming along.
Well,
it's going to
so.
go. Yeah, they're going to go hand in hand. Charging ability and electric vehicle cells are going to kind of go along this path together.
Well, I agree with you on that. I think within the next 5 to 8 years, it'll be 75 to 80% electric on the road, and the only thing that'll be left over will be old used cars, and they'll be worth nothing.
I think that's a good
but
number to
I
predict.
realize that I'm never going to get
John.
the rumble of a '66 Corvette out of it.
But you might get an artificial rumble. They can do that with software.
John, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, yep.
We
Listen,
enjoyed
thank
talking
you
to
for
you.
your time, and thanks for the information. You guys stay healthy, and it's just terrific to talk to you again.
Oh,
Thanks.
it was
Excellent.
absolutely great to hear from you. Give us a call again. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to go to Jamie, who's been holding patiently. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you fine. What can we do
Okay, I
for you
have
this morning?
I have a 2011 Toyota Camry running like a top, but it's reaching the point where I think I need to change the transmission oil somehow. Now, I understand that Toyota doesn't have it has a sealed transmission. Is that correct? Can you change filters on that transmission, or is that you just change the fluid?
What you have is a Toyota transmission that has WS type fluid. It is a lifetime fluid. It should never need to be changed.
And that's all cars now. Not just Toyota, but all the cars have gone to that.
Yep. And it's there's no filter. There are internal screens, and that fluid is lifetime. Unless something were to be broken or damaged on the transmission, you'd never need to change it.
David, the thing you have to be careful of if you're having your car serviced at a dealer, dealers are starving to death in the service departments for lack of maintenance items to perform, mainly because the cars require very, very little maintenance today. But a lot of them are going by the old book, and they're changing fluids and they're doing flushes, and they're still doing things the way they were done 25 years ago when cars required a lot of maintenance. And look at your owner's manual, and if you lost it, pull it up online and find out what the manufacturer recommends in terms of your periodic maintenance. You'd be surprised what a low amount of maintenance is actually required. So when you go to the dealer and say, this is what I want done, don't do anything else. It'll save you a lot of money.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is there's no need to change the transmission fluid either.
Exactly.
Well, I guess that's going to be an idea I'm going to have to get used to because I'm always.
Right.
I
I heard that in your voice. It was tough.
Yeah. The oil has to be changed at a certain time. The tires have to be changed at a certain time.
Yeah.
Brakes have to be changed. And now it's the transmission fluid. You don't have to do anything to it. I mean, that sounds a little weird.
I mean, you could if you wanted to.
Same thing with the power steering.
Years ago,
It's
that would
electric
you
power
change your
steering.
oil every 2,000 or 3,000 miles.
Yeah.
Now you're talking 10,000 miles. So it's just it's progress. I know sometimes when you get into a habit, it makes you nervous. I understand that, but the dealers take advantage of the fact that guys like you that really took good care of their cars for so long, they're taking advantage of you because literally the cars don't need that anymore. It's just you can save yourself a ton of time and money just by using the owner's manual.
Where do you get an EV? There's no oil.
That's in the future, right?
Yeah.
Then you only have to worry about the blinker fluid.
Very funny, Rick.
But still, Jamie, there's much less maintenance, on your vehicles today. It was great hearing from you. Thank you, and give us a call again.
All right. Thank you very much.
If you didn't jot that number down, It is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. Let me remind the ladies this morning that I have $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. Give us a call, say hello, ask some questions. Just give us a call. You can win $50. I think we're going to try to catch up with some FaceTime, YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Well, we never got to Anne Marie's text.
Oh, good morning, Anne Marie.
So let's go. She says, good morning. Right back to you. Good morning. It's summertime, and that means it's the rainy season here in South Florida. Rain slick roads lead the cars to slip, sliding away, just like the Paul Simon song. That prompts the following questions. 1, what's the difference between traction control, 4-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive? And 2, which systems give the best control on rain slick roads? That's from Anne Marie. And she says, P.S. Here's hoping everyone has a safe holiday without too much rain.
Okay, to put this as concise as possible, 4-wheel drive is generally a vehicle that has the option to switch from 2-wheel drive to all 4 tires get pretty close equal power from the engine to all 4 wheels can drive the car. Mm-hmm. All-wheel drive is a car where all 4 wheels always get power from the engine. They're all 4 being driven.
Can I do the traction control?
Please.
The sensors can tell how fast the wheels are moving. If it detects one slipping from the road, it will use the ABS system to apply brakes to the other wheels and give more power to the wheel that's slipping. I mean, less power to the wheel that's slipping.
In most cases, yes.
Oh.
But also in a situation such as if the car begins to slide and it detects one wheel is locking up, it will decrease brake to that power, to that wheel, to prevent that wheel from sliding more. And traction control is basically designed to send power to each individual wheel or braking to each individual
depending on
wheel
what it needs
to keep the car under control and keep you where you need to be.
And the computer is doing this like tons of these adjustments in a second. It can be happening just very rapidly. You don't even know it's doing it.
Exactly.
Back in the old days, I used to use the called posit traction when I was drag racing when I was a kid, because as you say, it would detect that one wheel wasn't getting traction. It would pour more traction on the other wheel. So when you're at the stoplight and you're racing the kid next to you and you floor it, the posit traction gives you more even acceleration.
Exactly.
The only time I ever heard of that term was from my cousin Vinny. That was like a whole plot element, the posit traction of this old Plymouth.
But that was actually a Pontiac.
Pontiac, that's
but
right.
That actually,
no, there's 2 cars.
Well, it was a
Bonneville,
the Pontiac Tempest was the one vehicle they were talking of,
Yeah.
and I forget what the other one was that the 2 boys were actually driving. I think a Buick. But
Buick.
anyways, the posi traction, the way he gave that description was perfect. Like, as anybody stuck in the mud in Georgia knows, you step on the gas, one wheel spins, the other wheel does nothing.
Right.
And posi traction lets you get both wheels get traction.
How do you like that? And then
When I was a
100
when I
years
was a
later,
kid,
they
I got pulled over by a cop for drag racing, and he said, "I heard your tires screech from 3 blocks away." I said, "No." I said, "My tires weren't screeching because I've got posit traction. It was the other guy's tires that was screeching."
Did he get a kick
I got
out
a
of
ticket
that?
anyway.
All right.
Well, sure, because he was racing.
All right, so there you go, Anne-Marie. Those are the things that are available to keep you safe, among other things out there. There's lots of great high-tech safety equipment. Vehicle skid control is another one, right? That's oversteering and understeering.
Yes, because now with electric steering, the computer can control the steering as well. And these all work in conjunction with each other so that the computer can see, by lane trace assist and other devices, it can see where the road is, where you want to go,
Yeah.
and keep the car going there and do it faster and more efficiently than any driver can do.
See, it's amazing. When I was a youth, losing control of my car was a semi-regular thing, and it's almost impossible now. All right, let me jump over.
You said when you were
when I was a youth.
that sounds like something from my cousin Vinny.
Right. I think that's the theme for today. We have a text from Bob. Bob says, "Good morning. My question is, how much market share do you think Toyota is losing due to low inventory, in some cases no inventory, compared to Honda?" I looked it up because I didn't really know. I knew that Toyota's inventory share actually had come up a little bit, and it did. It went up about a half a point to 14.9. This is only through the first quarter of this year, which ended last month. I mean, the second quarter of the year. So it actually went up, and their volumes is actually up. Honda's market share, not to knock them, actually went down 1.5 points. They're down to about 6-point-something% U.S. market share.
There's a current automotive news article that addresses that, not market share directly, but loyalty, and it's very shocking. I was really surprised. Ford and Chevrolet are topping the loyalty rankings. Toyota usually tops the loyalty rankings, but Toyota's loyalty dropped. And the essence of the article, there's a automotive news article, the essence of the article is that Toyota is losing sales to Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never think of that.
I've thought about that a lot.
Yeah.
Because sometimes and this is, you've criticized me before because you don't necessarily represent our market, but I do represent a kind of person who would buy a Toyota or that sort of thing.
I do too.
Right. Yeah. So that's a natural
I'm
thing.
driving an electric
you're
car.
driving Tesla. I mean, I had the same impulse to do it, and a lot of it had to do with frustration with how fast Toyota was going into EVs. I mentioned this on the show last week. I think, and this is not based on any kind of research, it's just a gut feeling, is that Toyota customers they want Toyota to do it, and they're going to go and they're going to drive a Tesla or a Ford Mach-E, and then when Toyota has a good EV, which they don't now, when they have a good, they'll come back to do it. But
And here's I'll get to you in a minute, Rick. Here's another thing on that subject. It's a shocker. I got two shockers in this week's automotive news. The electric vehicle inventory has reached 92-day supply.
Really?
Yeah. And for you non-car folks out there, that's a huge amount of cars.
That's a don't buy sign on my used car buying program.
Yeah. And so you have a situation where Toyota's short of cars, and as Stu just described, the Toyota demographic, the mindset of Toyota buyers is also, they're thinking EV. I mean, this is kind of a personal thing that Stu and I talk about because we like EVs, but it must be true for the whole Toyota buyer group, and the fact that Toyota has so few cars compared to electric vehicles, there's a 92-day supply. Hard to believe.
So it's kind of it's a hard thing to resist. Think about it. You go to a Toyota dealership, and it's going to be a year to get a Sienna hybrid, but you can pick up a Tesla
Rick, you're
3 right away. Sorry.
The number one reason that Tesla is beating Toyota right now is because they come first in the phone book.
Tesla, Toyota, TE.
That's a real knee,
I didn't
that's a
even
real
think
knee
of that.
slapper. There.
You were waiting all that time with that one.
I've been holding that one for a while. Yeah.
I don't feel bad for interrupting you now.
Folks, if you want to take a look at Earl's column, his blog, you can do so by going to Earl on Cars. Speaking of Tesla, it's a great column. Tesla full self-driving may do the wrong thing at the worst time. If you've been watching the news, you can understand what Earl is talking about. And,
well, I had to spank you. I've been praising Tesla. People think I'm got this thing for Tesla. I like to drive the car, but I'll tell you one thing I don't have for Tesla is I don't believe in their autonomous vehicle. And Nancy and I both.
Not at all.
Every time we get a software update, we go out and try it again. And the last time we tried it, that was scary. I mean, it was making turns unexpectedly, putting the brakes on.
I did tell you, I kind of warned you. I had a slightly lesser version, and I warned you it's not to be trusted.
But they've had multiple software updates, and every time they. Now, I'll tell you what's happened is, and the inspiration behind this article was Nancy. Nancy says, "Why don't you write about that?" Because we had just terrified ourselves in another test drive. I decided to go kind of hard on Elon. What he is finally doing now is confessing. And in the software update, which they never did before, that's where I got this phrase. He basically says in the software update, please, I don't even think he said please, keep your hands on the steering wheel and your eyes on the road because the Tesla autonomous may do the wrong thing at the worst time. And I couldn't have said it better myself.
Right.
I mean, that's what the Tesla will do. It'll do the wrong thing at the worst time, and it is scary.
Hey, you
I
wanna
always
get
try to
scared?
find a simple place to go.
That reminds me of a quote like "unsafe at any speed."
Yeah, I'm saving it.
You want to get scared, take and pull up that video of the Tesla that takes, and there's a school bus, and there's children who are exiting the school bus. That's all I'll tell you. That should be enough to stir your interest. Yes, Rick?
Well, let me ask you this, Earl. Honest opinion here. Say you didn't have the autonomous feature on your car. It was totally turned off. You were expected to control the car, drive it yourself 100% of the time. How is that car for just driving around, being able to bypass gas stations? You never have to fuel it. You simply drive the car. You enjoy it. It's totally silent.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get your point. I mean, the answer is I love it. And Nancy and I both
great.
love it. It's an amazing car. The technology is amazing. I don't take back anything I've said about Tesla, except I was more optimistic about the autonomous. Full self-driving is a misnomer. Ain't no way full self-driving is ready. I hope it's ready sooner rather than later, but I'm tired of these Tesla advocates, these Elon Musk worshipers,
fanboys,
and they talk about the fact that I have to believe they're lying. I've heard people say that they drove this very difficult route, like in San Francisco or Chicago. I mean, heavy traffic.
San Francisco.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe
I'm
it
in
either.
South Florida. The path we took was from our home to our car dealership, and we went on alternate A1A. And folks are not familiar with this area, don't know what I'm talking about. And we were on US 1, which is just it's hard to get messed up on US 1.
heading
It's
south.
a straight shot from New York to where? Key West. So it messed up on US 1. It was trying to make left-hand turns for no apparent reason.
It wanted to go. We were heading south, and the car was going north.
Yeah.
There was traffic heading.
Yeah,
Have you watched a video of the Waymo self-driving cars? I've watched those. People they're using them in some cities in California, and use an app, and the self-driving car shows up without a driver and takes you where you're going perfectly.
Yeah.
The reason it can do that, it's got whirling radars and things all over the thing. It doesn't look like a regular car, and so it's packed with sensors.
Yeah, Monday I had a guy come up to me. I was at my therapy place for my Achilles tendon issue, and I went out from therapy. I got into my Tesla Plaid, and I hear bop, bop. Somebody's knocking on the window, so I roll the window down. He says, I have a Tesla Plaid too. He says, do you drive this on autonomous? I said, yes, I do, but I'm not. He says, I wouldn't dare.
Yeah.
He says, I'm afraid to put this on autonomous.
Oh, it's scared. It's scared everybody I know who's experienced it.
Well, program, it's still in its infancy. I mean, up there in Port St. Lucie in Traditions,
absolutely.
they have those TIM buses, no driver,
right,
and it follows a perfectly set route, so it's a very easy thing to program.
Yeah, it's a set
and
route.
And it can use
also.
avoidance to not have people or cars interfere with it. And they work beautifully.
It's a less of a chance of a catastrophe. Being on the
still
road
in
like
its
us,
infancy.
it is. There's just as. Let me go back to the blog. Tesla full self-driving may do the wrong thing at the worst time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get back to the phones. Our friend Marty has been holding for quite a long time. I love hearing from Marty. He can amuse us and inform us. And for my first time female caller, hang in there, Marge. I'll be right with you. Good morning, Marty. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
We're great. Thank you. Thank you for calling.
I have something to tell you, and then I got to ask Earl a question.
Okay.
At a Lexus dealer, they had a small SUV. It was Model UX. Well, the trouble with that car is, and it's a hybrid. They all come only in hybrid, except in the back seat, there's about 3 inches of room.
Oh, jeez.
Unless you have no shoes and you can fit in there, you got a problem.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, when they brought over the closer, I wasn't gonna buy it anyways. They brought over the closer, and of course, when they deal with me, they got to bring over the closer. The salesman can't deal with me. So, Moser, I said to him, well, first of all, the car's too small. But I said, your price, I said, you don't come down in price. He said, now this is the guy, he said he's a sales manager at Palm Beach Lexus. Said that what he said, and whether or not it's true, and Earl will probably disagree with this guy, he said Toyota is purposely holding back on production to keep prices high.
Not true.
Right, and I said to him, Earl Stewart is a friend of mine, I said.
Oh, boy.
And I talk to him usually every week, and he said to me, Toyota is not doing that. But he said they are. So I just wanted you to know that is out there. And I defended you, Earl.
Well, thank you.
The high prices are coming from dealers and sales managers at Palm Beach
They
Lexus.
don't even discount. And plus, they want to give you a low-ball price for your trade.
Yeah, it's if you want to buy a Lexus, go to JM Lexus and Coconut Creek, and they're the best Lexus dealer. They're the largest Lexus dealer in the world. They're also the best. They have a very small dealer fee. I kid them or spank them a little bit about the fact that they got I think a $200 dealer fee, and they advertise no dealer fee. I say, why do you do that?
And they call it the private tag agency fee. They call it something else.
Yeah.
But they're one price and they don't go over MSRP.
Yeah, it's a straight, and they only have the thing I love about them is they have the salesperson or whatever you want to call them takes you through the whole process, F&I and the selling, and you don't have to go like you just said, the TO guy. You don't go back and forth. It's just one person.
They call them sales managers, and it's a legitimate term. They manage the sale from beginning to end all the way through F&I.
Yeah, JM Lexus. It's worth the drive. If you're in South Florida, I wouldn't go anywhere except JM Lexus. Margate, yeah.
All right, well, I just wanted you to know that's what that guy told me. Now, whether he's a sales manager, whoever he is.
Sales manager.
I said, I listened to Earl before you.
Well, thanks, Marty. I appreciate your loyalty.
Hey, Marty, everybody's heard of you.
We're both car
You know
salesmen, so you're not really just putting on a car salesman. I'm a car salesman, too. So.
Everyone has heard about you, Marty. You know that by now.
I know. I may have to come on the show.
You are on the show.
Exactly. You have to be a guest. But everyone has heard of you. They're watching for you. They're looking for you. So be careful.
Have a great holiday.
Thanks,
Happy 4th of July, Marty. We're going to go to Mark, who has been holding. She's our first-time female caller. And she is calling from Deer Creek, I believe. Good morning, Mart.
Good morning.
Thank you for your patience. You have been,
yes, I was almost ready to hang up. Okay.
Sometimes this happens. Hey, listen, Marge, stay on the line after we're done talking and give your information to Jeremy in the control room, and he'll pass that contact information along to me, and I'll get that check out to you on, I'll get that check out to you as soon as possible.
Oh, thank you.
So, you're welcome.
Surprise.
What can we do for you this morning?
Okay, I'm calling about my insurance. I have a policy with Allstate, my car insurance, and I have two other policies. And they raised me, I was paying $246 a month for my car, and they just raised me to $488 a month.
Whoa.
How long have you been with that company?
Only about 69 years.
Yeah. Shop the price, Martha. I really made a mistake last week on the show. I didn't realize that Florida is the highest in the United States in auto insurance cost, and for a lot of reasons. It's we have older drivers. We have extremely large number of lawyers who love to sue people that get into car accidents, and so yeah, it's tough. Because you've been with the same company for a long time, prior to this crazy issue with having the highest premiums anywhere in the USA, prior to that, we always said if you've been with an insurance company for 4 years or more, shop. You will always get a lower price. In today's climate, I'm not sure that's true, but I would sure try. I'd call 3 or 4 of the better insurance companies and get a quote.
Who do you consider better companies?
Oh, Geico, State
Geico.
Farm, Allstate,
Yeah.
Progressive, any of the name insurance companies. Most of them are pretty good. State Farm, by the way, said last year, in 2022, they lost an average of $60 for every policy they sold. They actually lost money. So the insurance companies, I scold them because they creep the rates up on you. They sneak them up to
Yeah,
make more
right.
money than they should. But I have to have, some compassion for them when they deal in a state like Florida. You can't turn the television on now without seeing 5 lawyer commercials.
Absolutely.
The car dealer commercials used to make me mad and drive me crazy. Now there's probably 2 lawyer commercials for every car dealer commercial. So the litigation cost for the insurance companies in Florida is huge. That's one big reason. And of course, as I say, this is the retirement state. People love to come to Florida and retire. So we have older drivers, and they have more fender benders probably than younger drivers, although I understand the younger drivers have worse fender benders, but the cost is higher for the older drivers. A lot of reasons, but shop around, get 2 or 3 quotes. I bet you save some money.
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay, I'm
Mark.
going to do that.
And I think that, it was just like all of a sudden there was a huge increase, as you just mentioned, and it affected Florida, it affected Louisiana, New York, and just a lot of places. But like you said, you had been with your insurance carrier for forever.
A long time.
Forever and ever and ever. And it doesn't matter, they're still going to increase your insurance, but they're not going to count on you just taking and exploring other insurance companies. And you do have that option because, like Earl said, you could save yourself a whole lot of money.
Right, exactly. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you're not stuck.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, give us a call again, and I want to thank you for helping me build this platform here for the ladies. And it's ladies like you who, they call, let their voice be heard, and they encourage other women to call. So have yourself a great Independence Day.
Thank you. You too. I'll stay on the line.
Thank you. Okay, our number here, if you didn't jot it down, is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. We're going to go to Rick, who's probably got some backup over there on the YouTube.
We got a couple.
Okay.
First one from Brenda Wise. She says, "Thank you, Nancy. I was so excited when I received my check from you last week. Always enjoy listening to the show."
Oh, how nice. Thank you, Brenda. Spread the word.
And one comment we had earlier from Steve Maggs, he said, "Good morning. This is Steve from New Jersey. I've read that recent demand for EVs has slowed. Volkswagen cut production, and GM and Ford profit only from trucks. By 2030, where do you see EV sales relative to ICE, or internal combustion motor engines?" And as a matter of fact, Donovan just came in, and he says to Steve Maggs, "Those brands are struggling to keep up with Tesla on prices. It's all about the money. A Tesla is far cheaper, plus you get the full tax credit on all of their cars as they are made in the U.S.
Very true, yeah. The Tesla Y in California is a #1 selling vehicle. They outsell the Toyota Corolla. So, I know California is an unusual situation, but who would have thought 10 years ago that Tesla would be the #1 selling car in California, or at least have one model that's #1 selling?
Anywhere. I mean,
Yeah, it's shocking. Okay, we are going to, do you have anything else for us?
let's see. I think that's got us a little caught up. A little slow today on the.
Okay, we're going to go to Stu,
Yeah.
who has a
We have
lot
anonymous
to share.
feedback. We have anonymous feedback. The first one, we get this question a lot, and it's just that time of year. It's summer. People are going on vacation. It says, "Hi, I have a new RAV4 hybrid, and I'm going out of town for a month. So it's going to sit unused in the garage. Do I need to do anything special to not let the battery run down? And what other things do I need to do while it's stored for a month, like a full tank of gas? Also, for new cars, is it recommended to get a first oil change at 1,000 miles? No. Go ahead, Rick."
Trickle charger.
Trickle
If you're-
charge for the battery.
If you're parking in the garage, it makes it so easy. You can buy them on Amazon, at Walmart. They're less than $50, sometimes around $30. They simply hook on to the 12-volt battery and plug into the 12-volt outlet in your wall, and it will keep a very small charge going into that 12-volt battery to keep it all charged up and ready to go. Set your tire pressures, at the proper level so that they won't lose too much pressure over the time. And it can't hurt to put a full tank of fuel in it. But then when you get back, take it out and give it a good drive somewhere.
But
just to give it a chance to exercise it.
Rick, you always say that the best, absolutely the best, is if you have someone you can trust that will drive your car once a week and maybe for 20 or 30 miles. That would be ideal.
That is the absolute best idea.
What happens if, I know the battery could die, but if they don't do any of that stuff and the car sits for 2 months in the garage and the battery's fine, but they don't do anything with the tire pressure or nobody drives it, is there going to be a problem with your car?
A lot of little things. The battery going dead would be the first one.
Yeah.
And when you lose 12-volt power, it causes a bit of haywire with the computers.
Yeah.
So it can take a while for the car to reset everything.
A bit short of the battery thing. I was just thinking about the fuel and the other stuff.
Tire pressure going low could be an issue. You'd have to get somewhere quickly to get your tires filled up. Really, there's not too much else that could go wrong with them at that point. Cars are just so durable nowadays.
Yeah. I know there's all these things, like they asked about the 1,000-mile oil change. I heard that too. It used to be the break-in period. And then even when we have the computerized, you drive for a while, so that's probably still the same case. It learns your driving habits to maximize efficiencies. But yeah, they're getting more sophisticated, but at the same time, you don't have to think about them as much.
And the engines that they're building, they actually run those engines and do a break-in in the factory where the engine is made before they even ship it out.
Right.
And they do that initial oil change then. So you've got fresh, clean oil on a brand new engine that's already had some time, and it's ready to go.
There you go. There's some anonymous feedback that came in also. It's a pretty long one, so I had ChatGPT summarize it for me. Here's the summarize. The person visited a Kia dealership to look at a Kia Soul for their elderly mother. Salesperson refused to show them the interior of the vehicle unless they provided their personal information, saying that they worked on their commission and showing the car wouldn't be any benefit to the salesperson. The customer left the dealership, complained, put a call in to the, online, tried to complain to the general manager. I got a generic response from an internet manager, which suggests to them that the salesperson's behavior reflected management's attitude. And that's absolutely right, from the top to the
when
bottom.
I saw that, I wanted to send Agent Lightning in and...
Well, I started reading, and it was reading like a mystery shop, and I thought, well, we can't read two mystery shops because just for time. And so AI summarized it to a nice little concise
That was great.
synopsis.
Yeah, you did it very well.
And I think that's it. I'm all caught up on messages and anonymous feedback.
Are you?
You know,
Okay.
just to defend this particular case possibly, all car dealerships, there's good ones and there's bad ones and in-between ones, and they all have, good salespeople and in-between salespeople and great salespeople. So we put people on the do not buy list, and we fail them for a terrible experience. But usually the experience is with a salesperson. Now you say, well, it's the responsibility of the dealership because they hired that salesperson, and I have to agree with you. But, I'll also be honest with you, we've hired salespeople we shouldn't have hired. I mean, it's difficult when you interview somebody with the way you sell cars, and they sell the employer, the dealer, on hiring that person, and then they take advantage. And oftentimes the incident is never brought to anybody's attention. The people usually don't complain when a person gets treated that badly. They just run and never come back. A good businessman realizes that. The complaints that I worry about the most are the ones I don't hear about, and that's exactly what happens. So we have to go back, and we do to try to go back when we have a horrible experience, because it might just be one rotten apple in the barrel.
I can tell you, and I don't know if they do this at other dealerships, but when there is a complaint and there's a problem, there is always an investigation. I mean, it never just kind of goes by and by. You know, an apology. It's like, well, what happened? And yeah, I think that most businesses should be doing this, but I don't know. I don't know if they are. But you'll learn from your mistakes. Okay, I think we're all caught up with text and everything. How's the phones?
Silent.
Silent. Okay. Well, Rick's might have some messages.
I've got something that. Oh, do you have a?
Lulu has arrived.
Yeah.
Bernadette's here with Lulu. And one quick note from Kirk in West by God, Virginia. He says, for auto insurance, if you've got former or active military in your family tree, check out USAA.
Very good.
You'll thank me later.
Very good point.
Absolutely.
Rick.
That's
Very good point.
So we got.
Right. We have our dog of the week coming in.
We have two ladies coming. One of them's named Lulu, and the other one's named Bernadette.
Bernadette. That's our volunteer.
Lulu's the dog.
Lulu's dog. Bernadette is the volunteer. She was here the last couple of weeks we had Rambit last week and all that. But here comes Lulu.
The dog. Here comes Lulu.
And remember, everyone, to
And
adopt
Bernadette.
the dog of the week, you can go to Big Dog Ranch Rescue, www.bdrr.org.
Yeah, Big Dog Ranch Rescue.
Good morning. So Lulu just walked in, and she looks like a German Shepherd. That's right. So Bernadette is going to tell everybody all about our. This is our newest. Bernadette is going to take down the live feed. It's okay. Bernadette got tangled up.
That's
in
what I
some cords
love
there.
about live streaming, live radio. And you never know what a doggy's going to do. Lulu.
Well, this segment is kind of like when Johnny Carson used to have the guy from the San Diego Zoo come on.
I love that.
We might get attacked.
Why don't they ever do that again? That was the funniest stuff ever on
Johnny
TV.
Carson retired 30 years ago, or 35 years ago. That's why.
I was watching some of the reels last night. Frank, I want to let you know that we're getting into the Big Dog Ranch segment. We have Lulu here, and if you want to hang on, that's perfectly fine. We can get back to you. Thank you.
All right, well, let's kick it off. So, in the midst of the chaos, the purpose of this is it's our weekly sponsored dog. Bernadette's going to tell you all about this beautiful German Shepherd named Lulu, and we're going to tell you about how to adopt her, and or any of the other dogs at Big Dog Ranch Rescue. Gosh, I got tongue tied there. All right, Bernadette, the microphone's yours, and you can tell us all about Lulu.
This is Lulu. She's a little Georgia peach. She's from Georgia. She's 3 years old. She had to be surrendered by her owner because of illness, but she's a beautiful dog. Loves everybody. Is very good with other dogs. Great on the leash.
Loves licking Nancy's hands.
Yes. So dog friendly.
Well, that was Stu's hands.
Oh, that's me.
Lulu came in because the owners just couldn't take care of her
Couldn't take
anymore
care of her. She
because
got
of health
reasons. Yeah.
So
But,
she came a long way.
She
from
has.
Georgia,
She has.
and she's very friendly.
very friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
And other
she's
dogs.
great on a leash.
Yep.
She's really affectionate. She is so sweet. She's a little bit scared right now.
Yes.
And we do that. They come in a little bit unfamiliar, but she's so curious. Look, she wants to know what's going
Checking
on.
everything out.
Yeah, it wasn't fun
Yeah.
for her to get tangled up in the cords there. It scared her a little bit.
About that.
No, that's okay. So she's 3 years old?
She's 3 years old, yeah, shepherd.
I'm going to guess she weighs about 50 pounds.
She'll get to be 50. About
50.
50 will be the. She's a
50,
smaller.
57, I think they said.
Yeah.
Smaller.
But she's three. Stu, she's 3 years and
3
3
years,
weeks.
3 years and 3 weeks. She smells good too.
One
Some of the
tree's
dogs
enough
don't
with
smell so
me.
good. This is a good smelling dog. She wasn't bathed right before she came in, was she?
Where did Lulu come from? You probably
Georgia.
said.
Georgia.
Oh, Georgia.
Georgia,
Oh, she's a Southern gal.
Yeah.
She's a little southern
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
she
Yeah, my
kinda
wife comes
does.
from Georgia.
Yeah.
Hi,
she's-
y'all.
Hi,
Lulu.
y'all.
Hi, y'all.
Oh, she responded.
She did.
Oh,
Yes, right now, folks, for you guys listening, she's just kind of wandering around making friends with everybody, wagging her tail. And so while they're all cuddling up with Lulu, I'll tell you, as our sponsored dog, if you adopt Lulu through us, we pay the adoption fees. There's also a special going on called 50. What's it called again? Something for 50, but basically $50 adoptions. Bernadette's looking that up right there.
I know. I've got
Special
I've got it
Fourth of July.
right here.
From the 1st until the 4th.
$100 adoptions.
$50 off.
Gotcha.
Oh, we love you.
Here you go.
Thank you very much. I wasn't prepared. It's called Freedom for 50. It's a $100 adoption fee for the dogs over 50 pounds. So hey, well, do we get that break if we pay the adoption fees? If we pay for the adoption fees for Lulu, $50? No, I'm just kidding. we don't need the discount. But if you are looking for another dog besides Lulu, get out there. This is through July 1st, which is today, through July 4th, which is on Tuesday. So get out to Big Dog Ranch Rescue. So all the big dogs out there got a big discount. So for all the dogs over 50 pounds.
One of the reasons we have
$100.
so many dogs out there is we don't euthanize dogs. We don't put them to sleep. A lot of the shelters do. In fact, the shelters that do this from all over call us, Big Dog Ranch Rescue, and we take them.
Yeah.
If their dime is up, I mean, this is sad to think about, but sometimes it's 30, 60, 90 days, and then they have to euthanize because they don't have room. Well, Big Dog Ranch Rescue has a lot of room, but they still, we have 2 locations now. So that's the reason you can get a huge selection at Big Dog Ranch Rescue.
Yeah. I also saw, I think, Bernadette, do you know about, there was a dog that was featured on Big Dog Ranch Rescue social media. It was a 20-year-old dog out at the ranch. Did I get that right? They were featuring, there was a video out there.
Yes,
so they have a 20-year-old, that's very old for a dog. If you're not a dog person, that's like more like a really old cat. And they have a really old, I don't remember the breed, but it looks so sweet. And that's just another, like what Earl was just talking about. They go out there to live. They don't go out there to die. But hopefully they get adopted. And that's really what they're out there for, because all the dogs, it's fun to hang out with 100 other dogs, but
oh yeah, I mean, it's like a resort. It truly is. I mean, if I was a dog, that's where I'd go.
Yeah, but if you're a dog person, you know that dogs belong in families, and families can be one other person, but they come home with you.
They have a maternity ward. They have a quarantine section. They have doctors. They have, they have an entire lake.
Stu said they have a salon.
They have a salon. They have a whole puppy town. So you go out there.
They also have, they train dogs for veterans who have PTSD.
Oh, that's right.
And they give them free of charge to any veteran that needs them.
I think we went out there when we were out there with Paul a couple of years ago. That's where we saw them doing that.
Yes.
So here's the deal, folks. Sponsored Dog of the Week means it's basically Lulu is free to anybody who lets us know that you want this dog, this beautiful 3-year-old German Shepherd. So call the show, text the show, get in touch with Big Dog Ranch Rescue. Go to BDR, or you can message them there, get a phone number. But we're going to pay for the adoption fees. And like we just talked about, there's so many dogs out there, so look around. If Lulu is not the one for you, there's another one. And let your friends know, please, because if you're listening to this and you don't want a dog, somebody you know needs a dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell the gang out there, when you find a home for these dogs like Bernadette, let us know. And like Wheelie and some of the others, so whenever you find them.
Definitely. I'd be happy to let you know.
Yeah.
You know,
you could bring the name up again, maybe even play the video and try to.
Yeah, as of last week, Wheelie still hadn't been adopted. I don't think she has yet. So Wheelie, if you remember that, she had the stiff leg syndrome, but still just an amazing dog. Still can get around.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
they
totally gets around.
They don't have
it didn't seem to affect her at all.
Yes.
And Rampant?
Rampant's doing good. Still at the ranch, but
you heard
he's
that.
doing good.
Very good. And ladies and gentlemen, there's some out there that can't afford to adopt a dog, and that's where we come in. We pay the fees, so that's certainly half the battle. And as Stu said, share the video, and there's somebody out there looking for a dog.
That's right.
And also, Earl, you want to talk about the fostering? That you can
it's just
do at Big Dog
fostering
Ranch?
is because we do take so many dogs, not just from locally, the whole United States, and in fact the whole world. We take dogs in from Puerto Rico as far away as China. Anytime there's a tragedy, a flood, a problem where dogs end up homeless, like the hurricanes in Florida, we take all those dogs in. So we do have a little bit of a crowding problem, and the way we alleviate that is fostering a dog. So if you can't adopt a dog, but you can just give us a little help, take a dog for a week or two, and that way we have more room to take more dogs that are coming in from other shelters that might be euthanizing those dogs. So it's kind of a team effort. Help us out by fostering dogs, and then we'll find a home and take the dog back that you fostered.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for it.
And there's the Big Dog Ranch is having the Big Dog Ranch Freedom for 50. That's $100 adoption fees for the dogs over 50 pounds. That's from July 1st to July the 4th. So remember, Big Dog Ranch Rescue. You can go to www.bigdogranchrescue.org.
BDRR.
That's
BDRR.
www.bdrr.org. And you can adopt this dog or any other dog that you find on the website. And Stu?
All right. I think we're all set. Thank you, Bernadette, for another wonderful sponsored dog.
Thank you, and thank you guys
One
for
more
doing
thing.
this.
Yes.
This is great.
This is fun.
It really is.
One more thing, Stu.
Yeah.
Confessions of a Recovering Car
That's
Dealer.
right.
All proceeds of the purchase of this book goes to Big Dog Ranch.
Every cent, except
Don't-
for what Amazon takes.
Don't forget that. Confessions of a Recovering Car Dealer. It's a great book, something that you put on the shelf and you can refer to forever. And all proceeds go to Big Dog Ranch.
100%.
Confessions of a
You pay
Recovering Car
Amazon
Dealer.
and all that, everything we get back from Amazon goes to Big Dog Ranch
Thank you
Rescue.
so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Back to the Recovering Car Dealer.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We're back on the air.
You know, the last column I wrote was about the autonomous Tesla and the problems we had with it.
Right.
I almost did a blog, and I think I'll do next week's blog on artificial intelligence. And I don't, Stu, did you know that Chat GPT has got has an Edmunds plugin, and Edmunds is
car.
got to artificial intelligence, and apparently it gives you sources of information to find the car dealership and the car you want to buy.
Okay, I didn't
So
know that.
I didn't either. I just saw it, and so be heads up out there, you folks. Artificial intelligence is such a buzzword, and everybody's talking about it. But there's some very, very amazing uses for it. I've been using it. Nancy and I have both been using it for things
I'm
like
addicted.
diagnosis and checking out doctors, and you'd be surprised. But as far as Earl on Cars go, I foresee the future where we will have Earl on Cars and a chat, AI chat, so that you will be able to be advised of car dealerships around the country that subscribe to the treat the customer like you're supposed to, transparency, honesty, and integrity. Also, it'll help you pick out cars like Consumer Reports does now. I'm assuming, in fact, I would bet money on the fact that Consumer Reports will have a AI plug-in. You'll be able to go on your phone instead of having to go through the normal channels and just ask, say, hey, I'm thinking about buying a Honda Accord. I want to buy a 2023 Honda Accord. I live in Paducah, Kentucky, and can you tell me, number one, is the Honda Accord as good a car as the Toyota Camry? And number two, if I buy the Honda Accord or the Camry, can you recommend a dealer in the Paducah, Kentucky area?
Oh, no. Can you just handle this for me?
Yeah, handle
Get
it.
me the best deal on the best car and have it show up in my...
I didn't even think about that.
I got to handle the transaction,
I mean,
have it
that's-
delivered to me, and I don't want to think about it.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Right.
And here, why is artificial intelligence better than other sources? Well, Edmunds, all the other Kelly Blue Book, they all got ties. CarMax, they all have ties to dealers. They collect money from dealers. We're a car dealership, Toyota dealership. We pay CarMax. We pay Edmunds. We pay a lot of people, Kelly, for services. And I'm not saying that affects their judgment on who they recommend or don't recommend, but hey, that's the reason we say Consumer Reports is a lot better than Motor Trend Magazine or Car and Driver, because Car and Driver and Motor Trend Magazine rely entirely on manufacturers and dealers for their revenue, and Consumer Reports doesn't. Rick?
Don't forget the human factor, that there's going to be emotions involved. You get one author that loves a particular car,
Yeah.
and he's writing about that car, he's going to reflect that in his writing. You're going to feel that in the way he writes. But if he doesn't like that particular model,
let's buy it. I mean,
he may not.
But the
come across that
artificial
way.
intelligence is beyond that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It doesn't have biases.
AI has no emotion.
It
It's
doesn't
gonna
have
give
it
you
doesn't
the
have
facts
emotional biases
and the reality.
or childhood memories of a movie that for some
Yeah.
reason they're going to want to push that car. You know,
Yeah.
You're right.
No emotion. That's the key word. We are going to go back to the phones where there are two of our callers holding. That's Frank and Jim. Frank's from Jupiter Farms. Jim's from Tequesta. Jim, we'll be right with you. Frank, good morning, and thank you for holding.
Oh, patience is a virtue, so I must be very virtuous today.
Yeah.
My poor humor. I mean, you guys are great.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's always good listening. I forgot about the doggy thing, so it was good listening to all that. That's and it came over my phone clearer than it does my radio up here in Jupiter Farms, so it was a win-win. But quick question: I was driving down the street the other day, and this Toyota goes by that I didn't really recognize. It was a smaller. It probably was an older model, of course, but it was a smaller Toyota, and the rear door had the funniest handle. It was a lot up high in the.
That's called
like,
a
near the
CHR.
window.
That's a CHR. It's a current model, and yeah, it's a little
really?
weird, funky car.
They're produced in Turkey, believe it or not.
Yeah, and that's where those handles are very popular.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know if they are.
Yeah, the CHR is not a bad little Toyota. It's a nice little 5-door SUV, a little compact guy, and they get around quite nicely. And we don't see a lot of problems with them. They're not super popular, but there's enough people buying them. But we don't see them in the shop for repairs very often at all. Just regular general maintenance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was just I saw it. We were where were we? I guess on Donald Ross. I had the grandchildren, so I really couldn't do any weird driving. Make them get nervous. And I did. Well, I did see some 3 letters towards the left, bumper area, but couldn't make them out. So all right, that's about it. And we're just down here in the farms, and now we got mangoes this week for sale. The lychees are almost gone, so there's my
I love
free
mangoes.
advertisement. Get on there.
You have little tiny seeds in those mangoes.
When I was a kid, we used to have
not like
mango
the-
fights. There was
Yeah.
mangoes all over the place.
Can get
Been
pretty
there, done
sloppy.
that.
Oh, did you?
Yep,
We did
all
that
the
too.
time.
Yeah, we had.
Boy, you get hit in the head with a green mango.
Oh no!
Yeah, we had fruit wars on the North Palm Beach golf course.
Oh, wow. Well, the squirrels are having a field day. There's like 12 up there, and they're dropping. The worst thing about the squirrels, they take one little bite, and they just throw it away, and then they go to the next one. And oh, my goodness.
Did you say 12?
Yeah. Oh, no. It's a herd of squirrels. I mean, I got 4 trees, and they're bouncing all over the place. I mean, mangoes are dropping like flies.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Honeybees like mangoes too. They if you see bees around them, that's always a good thing. The old mangoes
Yeah.
have gotten soft and mushy.
They're nice and sweet.
Hey, Frank, we by the clock. I have another caller, and
No, I'll let you guys
I'm
go.
going to have
Not
to
to worry.
say goodbye.
Send me some lychees.
Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July. Okay, we're going to go to Jim in Tequesta. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. How are you?
We're great. Welcome. Thank you for calling Earl Stewart on Cars.
Well, we enjoy your show, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for Earl because of his honesty and integrity. But I was wondering, could you recommend an honest Porsche dealer in Florida? That's probably a joke of a question because I've been trying to buy a Porsche, and I've never dealt with such obnoxious people who put all these bogus charges on. They're impossible to deal with, and the way they treat customers is just terrible. I have a couple Porsches. I've owned a couple in the past. I still have one. But I was wondering, is there any such thing as an honest Porsche dealer in Florida?
We've never mystery shopped one.
We should.
no,
we should. There's so few of them is one of the problems that it's kind of like they pretty much have a very elite market, and people that buy Porsches typically don't haggle or negotiate. And I would if I had to give you a name, I'd say Bremen. I think they're probably more competitive. There's another Porsche dealer, Champion, further south. I've heard some bad things about them just in the press. We've never shopped them.
Do you know if Craig Zinn, does he have a Porsche dealership in Hollywood?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's got some other luxury stuff. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
We just don't know. You might have to rely on reviews or chat rooms. Like maybe there's a chat.
And here's a long shot. Check Costco. See if they have any Porsche dealers listed.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And the only thing you'll be sure of there, you're still going to pay a lot of money for a Porsche, but it would be the agreement with Costco and the approved dealer is they will not sell a car. They will sell to a Costco member for less than they sell to anybody else. So if that's about the best assurance you're going to get with a Porsche.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. That's helpful. I've shopped all over Florida, and the bogus charges are incredible. The lack of honesty from the sales reps. I've been in several successful businesses I've owned, and if I treated my customer like that, I wouldn't be living in a nice home. I'd be living under a bridge in a box.
Yeah, the car dealerships are a unique breed. They're the only retailer that gets away with bloody murder, and they've been doing it for 100 years. So yeah, you're right.
You know, you would
it's a shock.
You know, you would think with a product like a Porsche, you just think of sophistication, elegance, and so many other things. And why, all these fees and why the market adjustment. And it just, soils their reputation. And it isn't necessary. They're making a killing anyway.
Absolutely. That's what I tried to tell them. I went in, I told them before when I called them on the phone, and I negotiated by email, and they still changed the numbers on me. But I told them, you guys need to know something. I looked at buying a Porsche dealership, a luxury dealership, Porsche and others, and I know how you make the money, and I know about all your bogus charges, so don't do this to me. And they still did it to me.
Yeah, you just make them well aware of the type of customer they're dealing with, but, they don't care. They just do what they do, and they do what they do best.
Yeah, they should have a new model called the Arrogance.
Yeah, there you
They
go.
are the most arrogant. And I've bought probably 60 cars in my lifetime. So.
Wow.
But I'm also a cash buyer, which is a disadvantage because they can't, they'd rather lease to you and get MSRP and add everything on top.
Yeah, so many ways to get the customer. Jim, it was a pleasure
Okay,
talking
thank
to
you.
you.
Well, pleasure speaking
Jim.
with all of you. Yes.
Donovan came in. He apparently does a lot of business on cars. He says Porsche of Melbourne is probably the best. I mean, it's a bit of a drive. You're going up almost to the Cape. He says Bremen is one of the worst.
Oh, boy.
Champion Porsche, I don't know where that is. He says no good. And Porsche of Naples, no good either. So his opinion, which Donovan's
he's
usually
a
right on
smart guy.
point.
I would definitely check with Porsche of Melbourne.
Yes.
And Donovan is an amazing guy.
Yeah, Donovan knows what he's talking about.
Thanks,
Jim.
Donovan.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You all have a good holiday, okay?
Thank you. Happy 4th of July. Okay, by the clock, it is just about 9:39. That makes Jonathan very happy. He had me on the clock. He said 9:40 sharp. Mystery shopping report. So here we are, Jonathan.
Got a quick text, though, if we wanted to, real quick. This is for Rick. Is it possible to change brake, because they asked last week and we didn't get to it. Is it possible to change brake pads on a 2020 Avalon with the sensors on the wheels, and how is it different to do yourself?
Just putting the pads on is pretty much a normal job.
Okay.
If you're doing the fronts, just be careful when you're compressing the caliper pistons is all. Rears is a whole different job nowadays on most rear cars because the rear disc brakes, the calipers actually have electronic components for the parking brake built into it, so it's a much bigger job.
Okay.
The fronts are still pretty straightforward.
Okay, pad slap on the front sounds like a piece of cake. Anything more than that, take it to a dealer or a qualified Toyota technician.
Absolutely. We are going to get to the mystery shopping report, and the mystery shopping report comes us from Jim Sharkey, Kia, Irwin, Pennsylvania. And you too can vote. We need your vote, ladies and gentlemen, and you can do so by texting 772-497-6530. That's 772-497-6530.
Okay. Earl in Pennsylvania. That's Agent Lightning, and I'm going to speak as if I were Agent Lightning in the first person. I arrived in the morning and was greeted by a very friendly front desk lady. She asked my name and then inquired about how she could assist me. I asked if they had any Tellurides in their inventory. She politely said she would need to find Taylor, the salesperson, much more equipped with that information. She then paged for her, or a female Taylor, okay. She then paged for her over the intercom and asked if I would like something to drink while I waited. I declined, and just then Taylor arrived wearing a big smile, shook my hand, introducing herself using my name. Taylor, she said, I hear you're looking for a Telluride. She informed me that she had 4 in stock, 2 2023 models and 2 2024 models. Now, that's a lot of Tellurides in today's market. Asked if I'd like to take a look. We headed out to the lot. Once I picked the one I liked, she requested my license and ran inside to get the keys before we embarked on an extensive test drive. The Monroney label showed an MSRP of $49,675 and no addendum of any kind. And we'll see how that works out. Sometimes there is an addendum, they just don't put it on the window, but there was none on this particular Telluride. She had me drive on back roads in the test drive and then back onto Route 30 to the dealership. Taylor demonstrated a vast knowledge of her models and was well prepared to share all her insights with me. Once back at the dealership, she asked me if I had any questions and then asked if there was anything I didn't like about the model. That's a good sales question. I informed her that I really liked it and I'd like a final price. We went back inside to her desk where she entered my details into their system. She then asked about my credit score and if I knew our sales tax in Florida, 6%. She inquired whether I was trading anything in or if she could possibly help me drive the car back for a one-way trip. I laughed, told her she'd be a great asset to the Kia dealership by me because it's the rudest Kia dealership I've ever been to. You know, we see a huge difference, and because Agent Lightning does travel oftentimes out of the state, we see the difference in culture in different states. Florida, you've heard me say it before, has got the worst car dealers in the country. I mean, even worse than California. So Pennsylvania, they got pretty nice folks out there in Pennsylvania. I then complimented her on how helpful she'd been that day. Taylor smiled, appreciating my feedback, and shared that she hopes to make every customer's car shopping experience great, so they always come back to her. She then excused herself and went to speak with her sales manager, Jed, to get a price. A few minutes later, she returned with a worksheet. Taylor went over the price sheet. The sale price was MSRP $49,675. They added $641 in fees and sales tax. That was it. It's likely that the fees included a small junk fee, and of course that's dealer profit, but it was small. Since $641 is a little high for title and registration, probably something like a tag agency fee or electronic filing fee, it's still extra profit, but it's small. That's the important thing. In South Florida, you'd be talking $1,000 or more dollars. Typically, South Florida probably closer to $2,000 in junk fees.
I'd guess like 400 of that might have been registration and legit stuff, and then maybe a $199.
So maybe $200 for junk. Yeah.
Most of that is legit because you got to register the car.
And you're not going to do much better than that. I mean, virtually no dealer has no junk fees, virtually. She explained that they would provide me with temporary tags, good for 90 days. They'd also include a packet with a check for the sales tax for me to bring to my DMV once I get back home. And for you folks that haven't bought a car out of state, the states all have reciprocity. If you deal with Kentucky, they'll reciprocate with Florida if you buy a car. So you can get a Florida tag or whatever state you live in. Expand your shopping experience, especially if you're near a state line and you can do it easily. You don't have to worry about the license tag being registered in the wrong state. They all work with the other states, so that won't happen. And you might be able to get a good price by going out of state if it's reasonable for you to do that. She asked me what I thought. I responded, well, I will definitely discuss this with my husband, and we'll likely make a decision tomorrow. She asked if I'd mind if I had the time to have Jed come over and thank me for coming in today. A few minutes later, they returned. He introduced himself and asked how everything was going today and if Taylor was able to answer all my questions. I replied that I was more than pleased with her service and that she's by far one of the nicest car salespeople I ever worked with. I added that it was refreshing to see a female car salesperson who was so knowledgeable about the inventory and clearly loves her job. And I'll add this. In general, car buyers prefer dealing with a female. And when you find a person, I mean, as a car dealer, I'm salivating now because we look all the time for people with that type of personality. You can have a completely honest person, and you can't always change that person into a nice, likable kind of person. And when you find a person that has that personality that is likable, that's a great salesperson. I mean, let's face it, that's also the danger of buying a car, because you can find people that are likable and polite that you'd really like to deal with, but they will also take advantage of you.
People who have learned how to smile while they kill.
Right. So I hear it so often, but he was such a nice young man. Well, that's the reason he's so successful, is able to take advantage of people that way. So you can't just use niceness as a judge. And sometimes the people with a kind of a poor personality can be giving you a straight deal. So you really have to know your facts and get your competitive pricing no matter where you buy. That's the shopping report for Jim Shorkley Kia of Irwin, Pennsylvania. And as Nancy said, we'd love to hear your votes. You can text us at 772-497-6530. And of course, YouTube. We always get a lot of YouTube votes, youtube.com/Earl on Cars. Rick monitors that. Stu monitors the text. And we also vote here in the studio. If they pass, and we don't give them an F, then we put them on the recommended list with the actual grade they got. We grade on the curve. We don't give out a lot of A's because there are very few perfect dealers. So we typically give B's or C's, and sometimes if they're really great, we give out A's once in a while.
Well, I think we might be looking at some A's this morning with Jim Shorkey Kia. My first grade from the listener came in. It's from Bob. Bob says A for Shorkey Kia. Good service, good salesperson, and fair pricing in today's market. That's the only grade I have in, but that's where I'm inclined to agree with Bob, and I'm giving them an A. They clearly were way better than the dealers that we see down here. The fees were nothing, and it was all about as easy as pie up there in where is it? Irwin, Pennsylvania.
Just a straight A, not a minus or a plus?
Straight A, just an A. And that's in, I think, Irwin, that's outside of Pittsburgh. So I think that's from Nancy's old digs. That's why they're so nice up there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
All right, Rick.
They are very nice.
Well, Kirk in West by God, Virginia says Jim Storkey Kia, refreshing. MSRP plus small fees earns this Pennsylvania dealer a solid A.
Wow, 2 A's. Oh.
Oh, it ain't done yet. Negan won. A, finally.
Negan, you're tough.
He's tough, but he.
Hey, Negan, are you watching? I want to know if Negan's watching Dead City.
We'll find out in a moment. Right. Let's see here. Johnny Z. Fradley, B+. Maybe that town has a Porsche dealer, too. Tim Gilliland, it should always be that easy. A. Mark Smith, B+. James Fronte, by Florida standards with the curve, this Kia dealer would be an A-. Donovan Lewis, a B+. Hey, even Donovan coming in good. Rocky Blockatiel, nice to be able to give a good grade for one, B+. Brian Sedlatko, finally a dealership that's straightforward with you, A.
Yep.
Cram 1624. Wonder what would happen when she gets in the box. B+. Scott Hunter, B. Give me $5. B+ reasonable fees, and saleswoman was knowledgeable and honest.
Yeah.
Negan says, absolutely, Stu. Dead City.
Knock, knock.
Oh.
I started watching it last night.
New series?
For me,
Yeah.
A.
Yeah, there we go. A. All right.
You know, I'm going to give him an A. And Nancy, what are you going to give him?
Well, fabulous Pennsylvania. You know, it warms my heart. And for Jim Shorkey, I have to give you an A+. Thank you for the great service. The fees, minimal, if any. And the salesperson, thank you.
There you go.
If you want to buy a Kia and you're anywhere near Irwin, Pennsylvania, how far from Pittsburgh is that?
Irwin would be
I'll
quite...
map it. I'll
quite-
map it.
It would be quite a ways. That is in...
that northern, southern?
That's in Westmoreland County.
Yeah. So
And I was in Allegheny County.
if I were going to buy a Kia, I would call Jim Shorkey,
Yeah.
Shorkey, Jim Shorkey, Kia
Irwin,
in Irwin.
Pennsylvania.
I would get a price on the phone, and depending on how far I was, I'd consider transporting the car based on my experience with the local Kia dealers that I had to deal with. And if I didn't want to transport the car, I would take that price from Irwin, Pennsylvania, Jim Shorkey, and I'd go to the Kia dealer and say, look, this is my out-the-door price. And I'll be going up there on vacation in 30 days, and I'm going to buy from Jim Shorkey. Do you want the deal? And if you give me the out-the-door price that I got from Jim Shorkey on the Kia, I'll buy it from you. So you just don't get that many A's. You're not going to find a Kia dealer. There's a Kia dealer.
We don't have any
have-
A-rated Kia dealers.
We don't have any A Kia dealers. I don't think we have any C Kia dealers there. They're all pretty bad.
They do pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah.
How far is that, Stu?
It's about a 30, 45-minute drive outside of Pittsburgh. So it's in, I guess, in the Pittsburgh area, but it's outside of Pittsburgh.
You know, for me, to cruise up, take a quick flight up there and pick up the car, drive through Amish country, maybe stop in at Hershey, see the gardens there.
Yeah.
And then a nice drive down the coast, just enjoy the
Well, that's a
sights and
nice-
just take a couple days
Yeah.
just to really relax and get used to the car.
Get the feel of the car. What a pleasant idea.
I'd love that. That'd be a vacation in itself right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a great idea.
And you're dealing with a dealership that's honest and that deserves your business.
Yes,
Isn't it a
absolutely.
shame? Well, here we are. There's
Telling people-
Kia dealers all over the place, and we're having to recommend one
In Irwin, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. I wish it were better, but it isn't.
Well, in today's age with computers and internet, you might be able to get it shipped from Irwin cheaper than you can buy one in South Florida.
True. Okay, Jonathan, how much time do we have left? Okay, Earl. The microphone is yours.
Okay, I'll use it to sell the book, and we'll go back and talk some more about Big Dog Ranch Rescue. And if you're looking for a gift for somebody, a son or a daughter, someone maybe you might be in the market for a car, Confessions of a Recovering Car Dealer. And it's a how to do it book. The chapters are broken down into leasing and buying, maintaining and repairing, shop financing interest rates, 8 rules for servicing your car, misaligned wheels, good people make good car dealerships. I'm reading some of the chapter names. Always get an out-the-door price. If you've never bought a car before, you're a young person, this is a great gift. And the best part about it is, if it costs you $20 or $50, what's the book sell for now?
I think it's $17.99.
Yeah, so it costs you $17, $18 on Amazon. All of that money we get from Amazon goes to Big Dog Ranch Rescue. So you got a double whammy here. You got a great gift for a grandchild or a son or a daughter or a friend.
It's a classic
and you also
book.
support Big Dog Ranch Rescue.
Classic book. You just put it on the shelf,
Yeah.
and there won't be a moment where you won't refer to it.
Now I'm going to beat Kirk in West by God, Virginia. I'm going to beat him to the punch here. Where's the second book?
Okay.
Well, we're very close now.
Yeah,
this week.
He asks about it almost
Nancy
every
was
week,
talking to
so-
her ghostwriter this week, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, last week.
Last week.
This past week.
We tied up some
And we're
loose
getting
ends.
closer. And I apologize to all the people that I told I'd have the book out by the end of last year. Just like I apologize to them for telling them that car prices would be normal at the end of last year. So I am not a forecaster. I'm going to turn in my ticket. I'm going to retire as forecasting anything because I'm too much of an
How about
optimist.
the weather?
Yeah.
How about the weather? No, we did tie a few things up last week, and the introduction has been finished, and we're very close.
So Nancy's correct. It's $19.95 on Amazon, and all of that except for I think $7 goes to Amazon, and then the rest goes to Big Dog Ranch Rescue. There's a listing for one of your books here for $64.90 from some other seller. Yeah, it can't even tell you.
Well,
If
must have really liked the book.
Is it autographed?
Yeah.
I'm looking. No, it's not. It's not. Don't buy that one, folks. Buy the 1995 one.
1995, and it's a good cause. Earl, the new book, just give everyone an idea of what it contains.
Well, it's called Redemption of a Recovering Car Dealer. It's basically just kind of like it's almost like my what do you call it, autobiography, or it's a story about
Memoir.
how I evolved from a crooked car dealer into the angel that I am today. And so that's
The sweet, harmless, innocent angel that you are today.
No, I mean
it's more personal. The other one is more like a collection of essays of advice,
exactly.
And this one is getting into Earl's advice and explaining how he came to
this
be.
is
behind the scenes.
Right.
This is a how to do it book. The other one is kind of like a,
Oh,
as
and
I say, autobiography.
there's also secret inside information because the co-writer contacted members of Earl's family, including Nancy and me and my brothers, and we got to talk to him about what it was like living with Earl over all these years.
Yeah, and I actually, to try to make it realistic, I gave them the names of our competitors, the president of the Florida Automobile Dealers Association, a lot of people that knew me from other perspectives. So it's an honest assessment.
Yeah.
Right?
But this just in, give me $5. He just ordered the book.
All right.
Oh,
There you
how
go.
nice.
So another one's out there.
Thank
Okay,
you.
fantastic.
Okay, folks, we wish you a happy 4th of July. I have to give a special thank to Rick because he kept me in electrolytes this morning. And boy, do I love that type of water. To all of you out there, we certainly appreciate your company. You're a huge part of the show. FaceTime, YouTube, the callers, the texters. I think I covered it all. Have a fabulous, happy 4th of July. Stay safe.